Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay. I am a romance writer, lover and general enthusiast. And today on the channel we're going to be ranking tropes that we find in the romance genre, whether that's books or movies. I know that a lot of things I love, other people hate. And I know a lot of things that I'm not gonna like are like people's like all-time favourite tropes. So, you know, maybe this is the video I'll get cancelled. So first things first, we've obviously got our like god tier. These are the best of the best, just things that always deliver and just produce the best possible romance books and movies. Then we've got Yas. This was actually supposed to be hello type much? Yas Queen. So Yas Queen is just gonna be like, yes, amazing, love them. Great, but not my absolute favourites. She cute, you know, yeah, she cute. I like her, but I'm not obsessed with her. Meh, you know, like, they're fine, but they don't really do it for me. Don't really turn me on. And then we have, ew, David.
Oh my god, ew, David!
Which, you know, just, I avoid, hate, should be abolished. Okay, so we'll just go in order. So the first thing we've got is sports romance. I don't really have much of an opinion. She's going in meh. I personally don't care about sports, have no interest in it. I've got a lot of friends who are like super into like rugby players and super into football players and stuff. So I think sports romance more appeals to people who kind of have a real fetish for like professional sports players, but I'm not one of those people. For me, meh, fine. She's the Man, football movie, great movie.
My favorite's good.
Next up, we've got single parent. Single parent is, I think, is okay if it's kind of like part of it. If a romance was basing itself purely on the fact that it centers around a single parent, like, is that it? That all you're giving me? I definitely like single parent more now than I used to. I think that's just come with age. I think when I was kind of like a teenager, young adult, single parent wasn't that appealing to me. Now I don't mind it. I prefer it to sports romance, but I don't know if she's cute. Like, she's fine. Single parent wouldn't deter me, but it also wouldn't make me want to read or watch something. Enemies to lovers, I mean, just the no question. Whose top trope is not enemies to lovers? Like, I've never met them. Do they exist? No. I mean, we're talking Pride and Prejudice, we're talking a lot of Jane Austen, Sanditon, we're talking The Hating Game, we're talking Damon and Elena, Vampire Diaries. All of the best ships are the ones that involve some sort of enemies to lovers. I mean, it's just amazing.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same.
Okay, next up we've got Meet Cute. Also, I think kind of known as strangers to lovers. A meet cute's kind of basically the opposite of friends to lovers, or a story where our characters existingly know each other. But who doesn't love a meet cute? Yeah, I like me a meet cute. I like me a meet cute if it's cute. There's a lot of not cute meet cutes out there. Slow burn next. Slow burn, god tier. God tier. Oh, enemies. Oh shit.
Just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Maybe I'll come back and change that, but for now I think slow burn has to go above enemies to lovers. I mean, enemies to lovers in itself is a slow burn romance, but slow burn can be within other tropes as well. But for me, if a romance is not slow burn, I don't want it. I don't want her. She can leave. Bye. No one likes a movie or a book where the characters get together too soon. Slow burn takes the top spot, guys. Okay, up next we have Friends to Lovers. I love Friends to Lovers. Yas Queen. Again, it works because it's slow burn. You've got the stakes built into Friends to Lovers because it's getting over the hurdle of crossing that barrier. Friends to Lovers. Yas Queen. Yas. Age gap. Ew. Okay. No, right. You know what? Let's talk about age gap. I don't want an age gap if that's the basis of the relationship. If a relationship happens to have a bit of an age gap, then I can get on board with it. And also age gap, you're getting into like really weird grooming things. Like if the age gap involves a really, really young girl, like freshly turned 18 girl, and then like a guy in his like 30s, no. Are there any age gaps that I like? I'm absolutely fine with the age gap in Community. Jeff and Annie in Community, the age gap handled really well. They're fully aware of it. The reason they don't get together is because of the age gap. Purely because of Jeff and Annie. I'm gonna put her in meh. Next up we've got He's a Prince. So just royalty. Ew. No, not here for it. Couldn't think of anything worse than marrying into the royal family. Just look at Meghan and Harry and tell me that you want to marry a prince. Arranged marriage is kind of a tough one. In arranged marriage as well, I'm going to fall into the classification of like marriage of convenience as well, like green card marriages. A bit like single parent, like it's not enough. You can't just have an arranged marriage and let that carry your story. You know, arranged marriage is a good plot device to set up other tropes within it. Things like forced proximity, probably sharing a bed. But you have to build connection, you have to build chemistry, you have to give me amazing conversations and amazing like bond building. And also, there's not really stakes with arranged marriage when you get to the climax, because once this couple get to the point of, oh, okay, we realise that we like each other now, there's no stakes, there's no angst, because, oh, well, I guess we love each other, but hey, it's fine because we're already married. Meh. Mistaken identity. I think mistaken identity is really fun, but it kind of can borderline get a bit like weird. Like, I hate mistaken identity when it's like catfishing. So like Sierra Burgess is a loser, or the Nina Dobrev Christmas movie Love Hard. Like catfishing in that really deterred me because I was like, no, that's not cool, don't like it. But mistaken identity in forms of things like Simon Pegg movie Man Up, that's kind of like two people are meeting on a blind date, but one of them's not actually the person. You get mistaken identities in other ways. She cute, she's going in she cute for now. Teacher student. Ugh, I really wasn't looking forward to getting to this one. Because this is where the internet is going to cancel me, and I hate myself. First of all, let me just very explicitly state that in real life, teacher-student relationships go to jail. Absolutely not. Do not agree with it in any way, shape or form. But there's something about teacher-student in fiction where my morals go out the window. Oh, catfishing, no, morally wrong. How can I think teacher-student's more acceptable than catfishing?
That's weird.
Like teacher-student kind of, it works in things like Never Been Kissed because she's not actually underage. She's just pretending to be a high school student, but she's not. She's an adult. Oh, I hate myself for having a bit of a pull to teacher-student because it's so wrong. And I know exactly what it is. It's because teacher-student falls into forbidden love. We'll do forbidden love after this, just so I can explain my reasons. I'm sweating. I feel like I've gone really red. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so toxic.
You need Jesus!
I'm gonna get so cancelled for this. Forbidden love. Amazing. It's why we love like enemies to lovers. Forbidden love is pretty much impossible to do in contemporary literature. Things like race, classism, no one has literal mortal enemies. And if you are in like warring nations, it's still acceptable because we live in a modern world. And I think that's why teacher-student doesn't disgust me as much as it should, because I love forbidden love. Teacher-student is really sort of one of the few ways you can do it. Forbidden love is pretty much impossible to do, as I said, in contemporary. Forbidden love, you're going to more like Regency era. Like, I think that's why Jane Austen stands up so much still today, and people love things like going into like the Bridgerton Regency era a lot, because you can get into things like the heiress and the stable boy. Forbidden love, Yas Queen, absolutely love her, but forbidden love is so hard to do. Dare dating, also known as like bet dating. So you're looking at like 10 things I hate about you, She's All That, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And dare dating, I think, is hard to set up with stakes. Like, it's quite difficult to find a scenario in which you can set up someone is being dared to date someone or being paid to date someone. But once you've got your setup, everything else is just going to be seamless, because you've got all your angst built in, you've got your climax ready to go, just the person will find out that they're a bet.
Am I a bet? Am I a fucking bet?
And yeah, dare dating pretty much is always going to deliver, isn't it? Yas Queen. Yes, queen. So bad timing, also known as, like right person, wrong time, or there's not enough time. Things like before sunrise, they've only got a night to be with each other. Things like serendipity, they meet, have this amazing time, but they both are in relationships with other people. I love bad timing. It's almost a bit triggering for me because I have the one that got away, and it kind of triggers me. But I also really, really love the concept of something being the wrong timing, but then in the future it all works out. So bad timing, yeah. She cute for now. Grumpy Sunshine. I know people love this. I don't know. Grumpy Sunshine for me is fine. I guess I connect with it because I'd say I'm definitely the grumpy, and historically I'm attracted to more charming, sociable, can be the social face type people. So I do think Grumpy Sunshine works because it's quite real. I feel like in real relationships you often need the balance. If a character is super, super sunshine, I'm gonna hate that character. Similarly, if they're just too grumpy, like they're just a miserable man, what's there to like about just really a miserable, grumpy person? So Grumpy Sunshine works, but I think in quite heavy moderation. She cute. Secret Billionaire, ew, no. Hate Secret Billionaire, hate it. Yeah, hate it more than he is a prince. I just have a problem with Secret Billionaire because let's use 50 Shades of Grey as a perfect example. If Christian Grey worked a pretty average to low salaried job, he lives in a really grimy, stinky, terraced two-bed in a really bad suburb. If Christian Grey was that guy, would you sign a sex contract with him and marry him and stick around while he beat you with a belt? Fuck no. You'd be out the door. And that's why I don't like Secret Billionaire. Because Secret Billionaire is always used as a catalyst to cover up toxic masculinity and to cover up things like abuse. I get why it exists, because who wouldn't want to start dating someone and fall in love with someone and they're like, oh, actually, I'm a billionaire. Actually, a billion's too much. A billionaire's way too much. I'll take like a couple of mil. But a toxic billionaire who wants to beat me with a belt, like, no thank you, I'm good. I'll just take Craig from Asda.
Why pay more?
Supernatural romance. So it's something I'm not overly bothered about these days, but let's talk about it. So like 10 to 15 years ago when we had that surgence of Twilight, I was one of those people that had Twilight posters on my wall, okay? Vampire Diaries, still to this day one of my favourite TV shows of all time. I was super into True Blood. I mean, vampires mainly, but the whole supernatural trend that came out, I was like the key demographic in that. If I was doing this 10 years ago, it would be like God tier. Whereas now, I think she's cute because I've got so much like connection to it. Who wouldn't want just like a sexy vampire? Like Eric Northman, Damon Salvatore, Edward Cullen. Come and save me. One of Us is famous. Meh, I don't really care. I think it can be done well. If you do One of Us is famous, you've automatically got your full plot. Like, you don't really have to do much work, I think, with One of Us is famous, because you've got so much you can go off of. The whole power dynamic, the person can't handle the fame. One of Us is famous. Meh. Childhood friends to lovers. Let me think about this. God tier. Yeah, childhood friends to lovers. I mean, love Rosie. Just love Rosie, that's my explanation. Brother's best friend? I don't care. Okay, here's another one, a bit like supernatural romance, where if you asked me 10 years ago, this would have been really high up. But guys, I'm bordering 30 now, and I have a brother. And when we were teenagers, if I'd gone out with my brother's best friend, like, no, absolutely not. We would not speak to each other. It would be the ends of worlds. There'd be so much angst. So I understand why brother's best friend works well in, like, YA. And when I was a teenager and a young adult, it appealed to me. But now I just think I'm too old to care about brother's best friend. 10 years ago would have been, like, up here. Now, I don't care. Sorry, I'm just an old bitch. Workplace romance, yes, love it. Not quite God tier, but yeah, Yas Queen. Is she better than Friends? Yeah, I'm gonna put her here, I love a workplace romance. I think it adds great dynamics, especially if you've got kind of like working around a power imbalance of maybe like boss and employee. But yeah, workplace romance, no problems here. Yas, queen. Forced proximity. Again, forced proximity for me, it can be done really well and it can just be done badly. And when it's done badly is when people just rely on forced proximity to be the entire storyline. Again, like single parent, like arranged marriage. You have to add in all the other stuff to make forced proximity work. People don't fall in love just because they're in forced proximity, but people get to know each other when they're in forced proximity. A great movie on forced proximity, if you've never seen it, there's a movie called Two Night Stand, and that's like, yeah, two people have a one night stand with each other, realize they hate each other, but then they're snowed in and they have to spend 2 days in the apartment with each other. And that's such a good movie. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend it. But there are, like I say, instances where it's done badly. Things like 365 days. That in itself can just put in ew. Oh, I do like forced proximity though. Oh no, we've been locked in this room. Oh, getting stuck in a lift together, please. If you've watched Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, like Rebecca and Nathaniel getting stuck in the might oh my god, she might have to go higher now. Okay, she's going at the top of she cute. Accidental pregnancy, ew, hate it. No, not for me. I can only think of one example where I've seen accidental pregnancy that I've liked, and that's in Look Both Ways, the Netflix movie where it's like alternate timelines, and in one of the timelines it's an accidental pregnancy, and I really enjoyed it there, which is surprising because usually I'd hate it. There's a book I read kind of recently where it was done, and like as soon as it happened I just like rolled my eyes. I was like, why have you done that? The couple kind of just starting to realise that they liked each other and they just threw an accidental pregnancy in, and I was just like, no, why have you done that? You've literally just ruined this book for me. She could be at the end of Mare, but no, she's like, ew, David, no. Bad boy, good girl. I like the idea of this more than I like the execution, because everyone likes the idea of a bad boy, but let's be honest with ourselves, girls. We like a bad boy because they've kind of got like long hair, like a really charming, sexy attitude. They can pull off a leather jacket and they look good smoking a cigarette. That's the kind of bad boy that I like. But the thing, again, with like bad boy is the same sort of thing in Secret Billionaire where it's just like a cover for toxic masculinity. And I don't think that should be in any way celebrated. She's going in meh for me here. Mafia romance, 365 days, let me say no more. Bye, ew, hate it. Again, it comes into play with Secret Billionaire, just in a much more severe circumstance. It's just an excuse for horrible men. Who wants to go out with someone who is like in drug cartelling, is literally like an international criminal, murders people with no remorse? That's just personally not what I'm looking for in a man. If you guys are into like warlords, cool. Second chance romance. Okay, this is a really tough one for me. Second chance romance, I love the idea that something can't work out, but, it was meant to be, so it's going to come back around in this time. You get a second chance and this time it's going to work out. I really like the concept of it, but it's quite triggering to me. I'm one of those people that like really romanticizes like my past relationships when I shouldn't. Kind of like with like Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck when they got back together and like everyone on social media was just like, this is not a sign to get back with your ex. That's what I feel like second chance romance is. It's cute, but also then it always makes you think like, oh my god, should I text my ex? But I do like the poetry of second chance romance. So she's cute. She is cute. Only one bed, great when done well. It's the same thing as forced proximity really, isn't it? But it works better for me because it's a short period of time and you can't really get it wrong. Actually, in Purple Hearts, they got it wrong. They got only one bed wrong in Purple Hearts. But in general, it's hard to get only one bed wrong. Yas, queen, yas. Insta-love, ew, no, get out of here. It's like, insta-love is the opposite of slow burn, isn't it? And if slow burn's God tier, then insta-love's got to be like really, really low. I think insta-love probably works better in things like fantasy and adventure and books that aren't trying to be romance. Love triangle, this is a difficult one because the majority of times someone attempts a love triangle, they are gonna fail miserably. Love triangles don't work when they're written to be there as a trope of a love triangle, and they definitely don't work in standalones. So if it's just like a movie or a standalone book, a love triangle is not going to work because we don't know these people enough. A love triangle can only work if it's completely natural and it's completely slow burn. So I'm going to go back to my obvious example of The Vampire Diaries. Love triangle works amazingly because it takes like 4 years for the second person in that love triangle to be in a relationship with the person. And there's like genuine angst, and it's not just, oh, we'll throw in this second love interest to spice things up. So love triangles are absolutely incredible god tier when they are done right, but they're so often not done right. I'm gonna put her at the bottom, maybe the top of meh. Okay, so last but not least, we have fake dating. I feel like fake dating always hits, always slaps. It's a bit like a couple of the ones we said, like dare dating, very similar to dare dating, isn't it? Like, you get your forced proximity, you get your like angst. I've seen a lot of fake dating recently. I feel like fake dating is really popular at the minute, so I'm kind of losing the interest. Okay, I said I was going to curate at the end, but I don't think I have the energy to keep doing this. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys want to do this tier list yourself, I'm going to put the link in the description below so you guys can go and do your own ranking of this and let me know what was in your god tier and what was in your ew Davids. I think everyone's list to this is going to be completely different, but if slow burn and enemies to lovers and childhood friends to lovers are not like at the top of everyone's tier list, then I don't know what is going on. All of these ones, I think I'll let them be interchangeable. Other than Mafia Romance, that should just be right at the bottom. No, I know people like Mafia Romance and there's a massive market for it, which is why it exists. There's a lot of Mafia Romances out there, so you know. I get it, it's the danger, it's the whole thing of a bad boy. As I say, I don't want my man murdering people. Unless he's a vampire, then it's acceptable. Yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for coming along on this journey with me to find out how toxic I am. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below if you got this far and you liked the video and you're not with us already on the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!